Oh, hey everybody, welcome back to the RM Brown program, the only program operating outside of the Matrix. You know, before we get into the main crap today,
we got sort of a touching story. We got sort of a heartwarming story here, guys.
Okay, what's this say here? Redemption arc. Kanye West's Jonah Hill post sparks meme fest online. Oh, wow, great. What does Kanye West say here? Watching Jonah Hill in 21 Jump Street made me like Jewish people. Okay. I saw this other meme story that's been going around where his daughter was dancing on TikTok and he uploaded a video where he's pissed off about it.
Just got off the phone with Kim. I told her to stop antagonizing me with this TikTok thing.
Oh
I said
boy,
it's
here we
never
go.
Again. I am her father.
Uh-oh.
I know y'all don't respect fathers.
And it's just really hard. It's really hard being a parent, you know, with TikTok. It's really hard being a parent because sometimes your kids don't listen to you, you know, because you go on InfoWars and say that you like Hitler. This is a very common thing for all parents, you know, oh, you did that on InfoWars, you know, and even Alex Jones was like, oh, this guy needs help. You know, after something like that, it's hard to get your kids to do what you say, you know.
It's something we all can relate to. You know what I mean?
All right, great. Now that concludes the beautiful and amazing Kanye West bit of the show.
Generally speaking.
Okay, time for some things I like. So,
great.
The wokes are on the warpath against a wide variety of institutions, but it is good when occasionally an institution has enough of a sense of self-preservation not to surrender to it. So, one of those institutions is the National Audubon Society. So, when you think about the National Audubon Society, you probably think of birds. Right? That's probably what you think of because that's what the National Audubon Society does.
Sure.
They're a conservation group about birds.
Yeah, they're doing this on my car. That's what I think about them. Okay.
Do you think of slavery? Do you think of the evils of slavery?
Whoa!
Probably not, because why would you?
Took a turn.
Because if you actually know anything about the Audubon Society, you spend most of your time looking at very nice pictures of birds. But apparently the wokes were very upset because James Audubon was a slaveholder. And so what they now want to do is take his name off of the Audubon Society that he founded.
Okay.
And the National Audubon Society, to its great credit, said, no, we're not going to do that. According to the Washington Post.
Okay, so that's why you like it. Okay. Oh, great. That's right, guys. We're looking at one of our favorite lunatics, one of my favorite online lunatics.
Ben Shapeno, he sounds like this. He goes like this.
So this is a story about how there's a bird watching society called the Audubon Society. But apparently it's named after a guy who had slaves and was a, you know, super racist guy. So they were talking about changing the name and they decided not to change the name and Ben Shapiro likes that. That's the segment. Which, of course, coming from an annoying little dweeb like Ben Shapiro, is not surprising that he's doing the most cowardly, goofy version of racism you could possibly find. What a stretch this story is. Because I know some people who are into birds. You know, they have like a bird feeder at their house. They have like a little camera on the bird feeder. Oh, look, it's a finch. Look, it's a whatever crap. Who cares?
Oh, look at his beak. Look at his beak.
You know, people who are really into birds, and not even they know what this is. The Audubon Society, not even they. They're like, what is that? What? Let's look at this. This is a pretty stupid story. The Bird Conversation Group said its decision came after more than a year-long process that included input from hundreds of its members, including donors. Despite Mr. Audubon's history as an enslaver with racist views toward black and indigenous people, Elizabeth Gray, the chief executive of the National Audubon Society, said in a statement on Wednesday that the board of directors, quote, decided that the organization transcends one person's name. Well, it doesn't transcend probably more than one person's awareness of its existence.
Got you, Audubon Society.
You sons of you. And again, we've talked about this on this channel. These people are watching these birds in a pervert way, I think. You know how birds, they like tick around all weird, you know, they're in the water and they go in some weird puddle and they're like I think those people are watching that in some kind of a
weird
way. That is kind of weird, though. This is a very irrelevant, stupid story, but that is a little weird that they chose to keep the guy's name. You know, they found out, oh man, we're named after a guy who hated indigenous and black people, and he was owned slaves. Yeah, we'll keep it. Yeah, we'll keep it. Actually, we like that. We like that. There's two things we like.
Birds and slaves and owning slaves.
I mean, who cares? Nobody cares about your organization. It's an irrelevant organization. Why not give it to the community? Give it to let some kids name it or something, you know? Oh, the Spaghetti Society, the Macaroni and Cheese Society. They would name it.
The most absurd sight of the day yesterday came courtesy of Dylan Mulvaney. Now,
Who?
you will recognize Dylan Mulvaney from such wonderful videos as that time I got the President of the United States about how I was a woman even though I'm a man. Or alternatively, how I got the President of the United States to endorse transing the children.
Huh?
Well, Dylan Mulvaney had a 1-year anniversary
Who?
party. It was 1 year as a girl. It was Dylan Mulvaney's Day 365 Live. It was a cabaret show at the iconic Rainbow Room.
All these Daily Wire dweebs, and they are dweebs, they're really obsessed with Dylan Mulvaney. And I honestly had no idea who that is. Because nowadays, Dylan Mulvaney seems to exist in what I call the old world. I call it the previous world of like Entertainment Tonight and Drew Barrymore and daytime TV. I mean, that's the other thing about this, is that if you're some like lunatic, gun nut, doofus, weirdo, Daily Wire fan, you think, Ben Shapiro, what a cool guy. That's what you think to yourself. You really don't have to even know who anybody in the mainstream is. You could literally just live in this world forever now, basically.
But we gotta find things to get pissed off about.
But it's like you could just watch whatever you want. Why are you watching Entertainment Tonight?
To get pissed off.
But that's the whole point, right? I mean, the whole point here is to this is ultimate face tattoo syndrome.
Huh?
What if you act as though you're a girl? What if you masquerade using all of the stereotypical ideas about women? You play act being a girl for a year, and then you get all sorts of contracts from mascara companies.
Half of this video does seem, Ben Shapiro's got to barf up the transgender content, because what else is he going to do, honestly? This is a make work program for Ben Shapiro, really. But he's got to cough up the anti-transgender content. Actually, this one has almost 1 million views, 709,000 views in 10 days.
Not bad for a little turd.
But to Ben Shapiro, I would have to say, look, Dylan Mulvaney uploaded a bunch of videos that went viral. People really liked her.
Sounds like somebody might be a little jealous that
someone else made it in Hollywood. And people in the sort of normie world seem to really like Dylan Mulvaney. So, sorry, Ben, but the free market has spoken. Okay? Also, man, I gotta say, for 709K views, this is some real lazy-ass content. I mean, literally, this video is 12 minutes long. Of course, there's 14 ads in it. And the whole video is basically, hey, there's a transgender famous person. Okay, anything else? Okay, here we go, moving right along. This is a very funny clip. There's Ben Shapiro trying to get his audience on some crap. Here we go.
Trump, for his part,
Who?
is just attacking DeSantis endlessly. And
great.
this I find astonishing. Just if you are a Republican, and you are sympathetic to Donald Trump, and you're sympathetic to the fact that he is being attacked frivolously by a bunch of legal authorities who are overreaching their boundaries, then wouldn't you want Trump to fight back against them? Wouldn't you want Trump to be focusing all of his ire not on fellow Republican candidates, but on, say, Alvin Bragg?
Yeah. Why would someone criticize their political opponent?
That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Brilliant analysis here from a Harvard genius.
That's not what Trump is doing. Trump is taking this opportunity to swivel the sympathy for him into an attack on his Republican opponents 2024.
Bye-bye.
Which does not suggest that he has the best interest of the Republican Party in mind,
or
the best
shocking.
interest of the right in general in attacking the left on his mind.
Could you imagine? Could you you mean he's not doing things in a collective way for the best of the group? Oh, no. Whoa, what?
Just that everything is an opportunity for Donald Trump. And that if he has the opportunity to swivel and just club Ron DeSantis in the moment where he has a little bit of momentum, then he will.
Okay, great.
Which is really kind of hideous. Because here is the thing. If the people who you think are the real danger to the American Republic are rogue prosecutors like Alvin Bragg going after Republicans for no reason other than they are Republicans and he wants to get his face on the cover of Time magazine, If that's the real threat, then why are you up for Donald Trump attacking fellow Republican candidates in the middle of that? His ire should be on the prosecutors, but that's not where he's spending his ire. He's spending his ire on Ron DeSantis. DeSantis is, for a Republican, an average governor. He got 1.2 million less votes in Florida than me. Oh, you mean that?
I actually kind of can't believe that Ben Shapiro reads these Donald Trump truths, because he is dropping some truths in these truths. You know what I mean? He is dropping some truths in these truths. Ben Shapiro just should have not read this, but here we go.
He said he fought for massive cuts in Social Security and Medicare.
Oh.
Well, no, actually, that's not what he did. He wanted Social Security minimum age to be raised to 70 years old or more. So these are all left-wing attacks on DeSantis. Because everyone knows, by the way, that Social Security is bankrupt and that there will have to be changes to it. He's not talking about his congressional record. By the way, Donald Trump was negotiating with Paul Ryan. It was Donald Trump who backed Paul Ryan for the speakership.
Man, this guy's in a little bit of a tough spot.
Oh, Ben Shapeno.
He's in a tough spot because his audience are all Trump lunatics, you know? They all never want to hear this.
Bye-bye.
But it seems like the people who pay Ben Shapiro, you know, they want DeSantis. They want this guy, Ronnie DeSantis, in there because they don't want the attention of Trump, I guess. They just want some empty suit, some dead-eyed lunatic who will just do the insane class war crap that they want quietly, you know, with no problems. But Ben Shapiro's just screwed. Because his audience, look at the poll. The Florida governor was supported by only 26% of likely voters, while Donald Trump was supported by 54%. Like, it's not even a contest. And like every poll that comes out, they're like, people want Trump.
Anthony Fauci was a Donald Trump elevation. Deborah Birx is in the news because Donald Trump elevated her to a position of public. I'm sorry. Pretending that he's an outsider is absurd. He's not an outsider. He was the president during all of this.
Oh, you're going to get in trouble, bro.
Remember, in education, Florida ranks among the worst in the country. On crime statistics, Florida ranked third worst in murder, third worst in rape, third worst in aggravated assault.
Whoa.
For 2022, Jacksonville ranked as one of the top 25 major crime cities in the country, with Tampa and Orlando not doing much better. On education, Florida ranks number 39 in health and safety in the country, number 50 in affordability, number 30 in education and childcare. Hardly greatness there. The fact is, Ron is an average governor, but the best by far in the country in one category, public relations, where he easily ranks number one. But it is all a mirage. Just look at the facts and figures. They don't lie. And we don't want Ron as our president. So Donald Trump taking the...
I can't believe he's reading this stuff. It's just such a stupid move. Okay, all right. All right. I guess it's good content.
Guys, if this is the strategy that you choose to win an election, good luck to Republicans. Seriously.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Good luck. Democrats, of course, are immediately jumping on this train, enjoying it. By the way, none of this is right. Florida is middle of the pack on affordability, as Giancarlo Sopo points out correctly. Florida ranks third in education. Florida's
no, it does not.
Only if you count colleges. Only if you count colleges. That's a trick. I just did a trick.
Adjusted COVID death rate per capita is below the national average. Florida's gun deaths per capita are below the national average. Florida currently has a 50-year low in its crime rate. Florida had insurance spikes because...
I love that one. What'd he say there again? What was that last part?
Florida currently has a 50-year low in its crime rate.
Oh, wow. A 50-year low in crime for Florida? Wow. That's amazing. This is Ben Shapiro just days ago on his show. Here we go.
New York has been a crime-ridden hellhole for the past several years.
New York has been a crime-ridden hellhole for the past several years.
But Ben Shapiro reads this tweet, and he's like,
Florida's actually... Crime has been down lately. Crime has been down lately in Florida.
Florida currently has a 50-year low in its crime rate.
But then he says New York is a crime-ridden hellhole, though. Let's look at how these two rank, okay? So there's Florida, and they go down. Oh, New York's a lower crime rate. But New York is a crime-ridden hellhole, and Florida's
Actually doing great. Better than usual.
You gotta love Ben Shapiro. He's just full of crap, saying stupid stuff all the time. You know, then he does this. And then he goes like this in his pants. Okay, great. Moving along, making fun of this severely disturbed individual, which is what we like to do here. It's an ableist show. And that for some reason, he decides to review John Wick 4. Okay, great. Let's check it out.
But these scenes go on forever, and the body count at a certain point...
Wait a second. Let me get a look at this. Oh, you got the little John Wick Oh, you got the little John Wick costume on. Woo!
It actually gets numbing because there's so much of it. John Wick will be in a scene and he'll take out the first 5 guys. You're like, I really like how he took out those guys. And then we'll go on for another 10 minutes with him just taking out faceless guys using very close to identical moves.
Oh, could you imagine?
And it stops being amusing at a certain point and just starts to get monotonous.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to try to break.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was expecting a Godard movie, but then I went to this John Wick movie and it was filled with action scenes.
What is this? I want my money back.
Okay, so we're going to try to break down this review into 4 particular areas. Area 1, plot problems that I have with the movie. Area 2, logistical problems that I have, just things I couldn't overlook in terms of suspension of disbelief.
Logistics.
3, the action itself.
Okay.
And 4, character problems.
Okay,
So let's.
Okay, yeah, that's the absolute boringest and worst way
To do a movie review. Ah, how can I drain all the fun out of this? Ah, I'll do it like a PowerPoint. I'll turn this into a boring PowerPoint presentation. And if you notice, the EBITDA here,
pointing at graphs and stuff. This would have been way funnier, also, like him in the outfit, him in the John Wick outfit, if it had, like, blood all over it, and he got somebody to do makeup, like he had scars and blood, and say,
it's like, welcome to my show. Welcome to my show. I gotta sit here in this now the whole time.
Here's another wacky part. Here we go.
It's a philosopher named Robert Nisbet who basically said the story of the 19th and 20th century is the rise of atomistic individualism telescoped into state power. So what he was saying is that the way that we normally interact with the world is via these intermediate institutions. These are the ways that we learn about the world, the way we interact with our neighbors and with the world. It actually gives us a sense of meaning. But the rise of a radical individual norm in the 19th and 20th centuries, the idea that we really have nothing to, that the real us is deep inside of us.
Oh, amazing.
And that our intermediate institutions are simply impositions on us. That led to the rise of atomized individualism.
Wow.
And when we sought commonality in an overarching state that would obliterate all of those intermediate institutions.
Okay, this is kind of an interesting one. He goes on this long thing about how, the atomized individual. He never explains why individuals are atomized. Individuals are atomized, and then the government wants to control you as an atomized individual. I mean, the first question is, well, if you're an atomized lone individual, it wouldn't be just the government trying to control you. It would be private corporations, too. He doesn't mention that. And how he thinks, based on all his other content, how he thinks the government is trying to control you is by giving you free healthcare and free college and regulating businesses. He's using the sort of the Jordy Peterman method, which is saying something very simple,
but make it sound fancy.
You dress it up a little bit, Oh, the atomized individual. Wow. Oh, man. All he's saying is, hey, if you need something, you go to your church or you go to your some family or something, okay? Because the people who pay me don't want to pay higher wages or taxes. So you go to them. Become part of a church. Become part of a church or something and, how do we deal with college like that, though? Nope, I don't know, you go figure it out. He has to sort of dress these things up because they are stupid. Okay, this is really interesting, too. Try to follow this. Try to follow what he's saying here. Here we go.
The media is very invested in the same overall program. The elites in our society, they have the same exact program. Again, no intermediate institutions, no rules, nothing. You're an atomized individual who can be boiled down to your sexual preference on any given day, and you are a widget under which the state works. The state guarantees you essentially sexual autonomy and pays for all your bills. And in return, you give your loyalty to the state and you fight against all of the intermediate institutions that might actually inhibit the ability of the state to control your life. That is the hand-in-glove deal that has basically been offered. And the media is full on board with this. So yesterday, the Washington Post started pushing around this article called...
I'm going to need an example of that. I'm going to need an example of all that. Okay? Let's hear it.
Trans in America. They gave a survey. The Washington Post and KFF surveyed one of the largest randomized samples of U.S. transgender adults to date about their childhoods, feelings, and lives. And here was their headline. Most trans adults say transitioning made them more satisfied with their lives. Most people who believe they are Napoleon believe that buying a Napoleon costume was good for them.
What does this have to do with what you were just saying? Yeah, so I listened to that over and over again, that whole long part where he gets
very philosophical about the atomized
individual and all that. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know if my man was just improvising or maybe he had a few of these or something. He says the state guarantees you sexual autonomy, implying that there should be some, I don't know, non-state entity taking away your sexual autonomy, and the state pays your bills. I don't know what world he's talking about where that happens, and then you're controlled by the state and you have to give your allegiance to the state. Are you writing a script where this happens? Did you see this when your eyes were closed in a dream?
Did you see this when your eyes were closed? Maybe? You were having sleepy?
And then as an example, he goes to a story from the Washington Post about, oh, shocking, transgender people, that most of them are happy when they have surgery or whatever. We're just sort of playing jazz, I guess, on the Ben Shapiro show. Or he got hit in the head, which it kind of seems like.
Ooh.
Oh.
I know my answer. Okay. And I think I know your answer. I think this is easy.
Sure.
Abortion is worse than slavery.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think abortion is worse than slavery.
How not?
Because I think there are cases when abortion is acceptable.
Well, and there's no case where slavery is acceptable.
Correct.
Okay, there's a couple ways to approach this, but let's take it the first one. When do you think abortion?
Okay, so we got this failed actor, Michael Knowles.
He's like, this is the role of a lifetime, pretending to be a conservative in America.
1.27 million subscribers they bought this guy, and he gets just slightly more views than I do. That's gotta hurt. I guess his demographic is, Ben Shapiro's a little too charismatic. Ben Shapiro's just a little too cool for me. Does that make sense? I need something a little less. And there he is saying he thinks he doesn't believe any of this stuff. This guy's he wanted to be an actor. The ending of this video might even be more shocking than what we just heard.
Some early, some very late. And I did have this thought, because I have two kids. One just turned 2, the other one is 6, 7 months old. And I was holding my...
Hold on a second. So this guy had kids with a real woman? Really? Okay. Interesting. It's like a real human woman. It's not like some kind of Tamagotchi or something.
Well, there we go, guys. Dipping into some of our favorite sources of content in internet lunacy.
Happy Monday, guys. We ain't gonna even talk about it, because it is bullshit. And it is garbage. And it makes us say, no, no, no. Man, these Mondays. You know what I want to do with them?
Wipe your ass with them.
God, Emmo, that's a little much. Well, guys, there we go. I'm starting to lose it because I'm talking to the drops now, and that's a big problem. We don't like to see that. Have a good week, guys.
Love ya. Love ya.
Love ya. And as always, keep it
weird.
Bye-bye.
Oh, hey, guys.
Guess what? You're not even getting the whole show. If you want every episode and a whole bunch of other
subscribe on Patreon.
Subscribe on Patreon for as little as 2 bones. Just click the stupid little link below the video in the comments.
See, right there.
There you go. Click it, and that, yep. When you become a patron for as little as 2 bones, you get the Tuesday, Thursday, patron-only episodes. You also get the weekly Book-a-Blega show where we talk about important books. The questions and comments thing where you can ask questions and make comments and all this crap.
And the weekly behind-the-scenes show.
All for less
than the price of a rancid Charleston chew.
And for only 25 putrid little dollars,
you could become a producer.
That's right, support the show and get your name up here. Look at these people. Look at these people. It make the show possible, okay? God. I mean, without these beautiful people, this show goes straight into the dumpster. A rotten, just wet, disgusting dumpster, behind a restaurant. So there's old milk in there. That's where this show ends up without these people. Is that what you want? Okay, I guess it's what you want. I'll just leave. Nope, it's done. It's too late. Okay? Here we go. Here's the dump truck. Come to pick up the show. This is what would happen with no producers. Thank you.